Find the perimeter of a square that measures 9 feet on each side. Alright, so if we think about this, we have a square. Okay, so all the sides are the same, 9 feet on each side. What does perimeter mean? Perimeter is just adding up the sides. Alright, let's first of all think about, can we come up with a formula for the, sorry, I'm about to write A for area, but a P for perimeter of a square. Since all the sides are the same, let's say we don't know what the side is, we could say just S, and it would be S plus S plus S plus S, because there are 4 sides. And if we add these up, they're like terms, right? So you could say 1, 2, 3, 4 of them. The formula would then be P equals 4S. And so does this make sense? Does this work out? If we want to add 9 plus 9 plus 9 plus 9, we get 36. Does it work? Does our formula work in this case? Sorry, 4 times 9, and 4 times 9 is indeed 36. 36 feet. Alright, great. The perimeter of a square is 40 centimeters. Find the length of one side. Okay, so we could again draw a picture. We know that all the way around it is 40 centimeters. The question is, how long is one side? And so this is when having a formula can really come in handy. Okay, we know this is the formula. We know the perimeter, P, is 40, so we can replace P with 40, and then we can solve for S. This is our equation. What do? We can divide by 4 on both sides. That way we can get S by itself. So S, one side, must be 10 centimeters. And I'm sure you could just think about this logically, but we're just practicing using formulas. Find the perimeter of this rectangle. So now we have a rectangle. Notice that the top side and the bottom are the same, and the right side and the left side are the same. Okay, so we call the top and the bottom the length because they're longer, and the two sides we call the width because they're shorter. So we can come up with a formula to add all the sides together because we know the two lengths and the two widths are the same. So the formula would be perimeter equals 2 times the length plus 2 times the width, because we're going to need to add length, length, and width, width. Okay, so this is a formula, but we can then plug in the 27 for the length and the 11 for the width and solve for the perimeter. 2 times 27 is 54, 2 times 11, 22, so the perimeter is 76 meters. If the perimeter of a rectangle is 20 feet and the width is 3 feet, find the length. Okay, so let's draw ourselves a little picture. We know the width is 3, and all the way around the perimeter is 20 feet. And so the question is, what is the length? Okay, so let's use the formula. Perimeter of a rectangle is 2 times the length plus 2 times the width. We know the perimeter is 20 feet, and we don't know the length, but we do know the width is 3 feet. Okay, so we have a formula now that has one variable in it, and we can solve for L. So 20 equals 2L plus 6, subtract 6 on both sides, 14 is 2L, so L must be 7 feet. Find the perimeter of the parallelogram. And perimeter for a parallelogram is just like for a rectangle, except that the width is not an actual width, and the length is not an actual length. The parallelogram is actually longer than just 12 because it goes all the way up to here, right? And the width is shorter than 8 because this is shorter distance than just 8. But the formula will still work if you imagine that the length and the width are the sides of the parallelogram. So we're going to say 2 times the length and 2 times the width. But in this case, it's not the actual length and width. It's just the sides of the parallelogram, the opposite sides. So you can just add up the sides, okay? You don't even need to use the formula, but the formula will work as well. 2 times the width, which is 8. P equals 24 plus 16. P is 40 meters. Don't forget the units. For a triangle, find the perimeter of the triangle. The sides are not necessarily related to one another unless, as in this case, it's a right triangle. But let's go ahead and just add up the sides the way we would normally do it. We usually call the sides A, B, and C, but we may not. But let's just add them up. 16 plus 34 plus 30. So 10 and 8, 80 millimeters. Lastly, suppose the floor of a room is the shape shown below. This is called a composite shape because there's a couple shapes glued together. If you want to put wallpaper border around the room, how much material do you need? So imagine we have a room and we're going to put a border around it. We need to know how long the border will be. As I said before, this is a composite shape because you could think of it as a couple shapes put together, maybe like a little square and a big rectangle. But either way, we just need to add up all the sides. Okay, so we have 6, 6, and 6. And then this side, the whole thing is 15, 18, 9, and 12. All right. So we'll add, starting here, 6 and 6 to be 12, 12 and 12 to be 24. I'm going to say 24. We have 9, 15, 18 and 15. Okay, 4 and 9, and 5 and 18. Okay, so that's 66 feet.